What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy, Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while showcasing us building ours.
You can check us out every Monday and Thursday, although we are not doing Thursday episodes. Frank, when are you gonna stop hustling so hard so we can get back on Thursday episodes?
You know, I'm hoping real soon for the sake of my back, man. I feel like standing 15 hours a day, 3 straight weeks is really taking a toll on you, boy.
And for those who are listening, 1, thank you. 2, you can catch us on all platforms except apparently Stitcher. Frank, I was talking to someone over the weekend, and he was like, "Oh, I would love to listen to your podcast. Like, let me subscribe now. Are you on Stitcher?" I immediately was like, "Yes," and then he searched it, and we weren't on it, and I was very upset. Apparently, Stitcher is a major or a platform.
So that means Stitcher has to be completely different, than Apple, Spotify. And
Yeah. We just got to get on there. We got to get on there. But
well, we'll certainly apply and make that work.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, those who are listening, we appreciate you.
Absolutely. So before we start this episode, I actually have an interesting story / request and a beautiful moment with actually a listener. So a listener who I also do business with, one of my clients who has become who has become now a good friend, Alex. Shout out Alex and his beautiful wife, Nikki.
Alex and Nikki.
For just bringing a beautiful baby boy into this world as of this week yesterday. He's texted me on the way to the hospital, he's like, "I just didn't know how to calm myself. I just didn't know how to calm down, so I shot you a text." He said he wanted to sponsor me a bottle of Ciroc, and I told him, absolutely not. You just had a baby boy. I'm going to buy this bottle, and I am going to shout you out, and cheers to your new baby son.
Wow. That's the legacy right there. That's the dream, Alex. I am so excited for you. I'm glad that you brought Ciroc into the equation with that little baby boy. We certainly appreciate you, and the gratitude is endless. Man, Frank, I mean, that's the ultimate goal, at least for me, right? I even said it the other day. It's to have either a daughter or a son, or to help millions of people where your name and voice will then live on forever.
Yeah, let's do both, right? I mean, you know, we could kind of control one, I guess, or at least put a lot of effort into one. That's leaving a legacy.
Well, the legacy in my eyes is one of those two. Hopefully both.
It just seems harder to find a good girl and create a family with right now.
I don't know. We have to do a whole episode on marriage. That would be very interesting. This episode, this particular topic, which everything right now is going in hand and in play, is I come to a theory that your network almost creates your net worth.
Absolutely. And that a famous author, I believe, coined that your network is your net worth. Tim Sanders.
So that I didn't know that, and that makes sense, because that phrase makes a lot of sense. I mean, essentially, it's the same thing. If you hang out with 5 fucking losers, you're the 6th. You know, if you hang out with 5 city workers, chances are you're going to be a city worker as well. It really does seem to go that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are what you consume, right? So if, as you said, if you're hanging around people with a drive, a motive, and people that just want things in life, you're going to be at least the 6th person in that group of 6 who as well wants that. So yeah, you are who you hang out with. I mean, we realized that growing up. Luckily, easier for us than others, probably.
Which it even gets more interesting, because your circle gets extremely smaller, I feel, the more, I guess, honest and successful you get. But it's weird. It's like your circle gets smaller, but your network gets bigger. it's counterintuitive. It's like an oxymoron. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, because one's growing and one's shrinking, but also one is growing in way more value, while when your circle of friends is shrinking, the value of those friends are way higher than, say, having 20 friends who really, I guess, aren't complementing how you want to live. But yeah, it's not just who you know. I mean, it's about who you are becoming as a person. Obviously, who you hang out with as well dictates that. So, as long as you're chasing, you're living your course, you're chasing your passions, it's certainly easier to be successful and create a net worth.
Another thing that I've noticed, and I surround myself with pretty successful people, and I have outside ventures. We have outside ventures. We have our own creativity, our own philosophies and thought process to do something outside of earned income, that 9 to 5 job. And I find it interesting that you're close, like your real friends, the ones who grew up with you or the ones you hang out day to day, are actually not even the listeners of the podcast, but it's their friends. Their friends become interested and they begin to listen. It's very interesting dynamic how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the psychology behind that, but yeah, typically I feel like you're going to get more words of encouragement from strangers. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be that way. Maybe that's the circle getting smaller as you get older. Um, but certainly I get more words of encouragement from people who I don't hang out with on a daily basis.
Well, I think that also has to be because they don't know you completely as an individual, right? So you can sell yourself and come off very intellectual and business savvy. Therefore, they become interested. Where maybe the ones who actually do know you, they may be like, I get enough of you, I guess, during the day.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to hear me anymore. Who knows? But we certainly do appreciate you guys listening to me. And Alex, as I sip this Ciroc for your new baby boy, it is delicious. And cheers to a long, wonderful, healthy family that you just started.
Oh, shout out Alex. I tell you, it's been a crazy weekend myself. I mean, my best friend pretty much got engaged. Shout out Frank.
Shout out Frank. Yes, sir.
My two besties are named Frank. It's actually pretty ironic.
Yeah, it's ironic as well that I know like 5 other Franks. I guess he makes 6.
Yeah, and then you got Tommy. I haven't seen Tommy in about 6 months. He he spoke at Frank's house at a group of people and how he just randomly called into the show and he's a guest caller.
Yeah, we called him once. He's called us. We picked up. Yeah, Tommy has been a guest speaker on 2 episodes now.
2 episodes now. He's the only call-in we've ever had. But as I analyze that, shout out to Lou, Frank's brother. I mean, these are all successful individuals, just like Alex. It sounds like you're an intellectual person who could carry a conversation, who's a just great benevolent person. These are the people we attract, and that's your circle. And I feel like you can't help but not elevate when you have that support system.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, I agree. And when you're people that are close to you, you seeing them grow, it's almost like you're a seed getting watered, and you're like, I need to grow too. You know, you admire people growing, so that gives you motivation.
But let me tell you, I think it's important to be very precise and practical with
mhm.
your plans that you tell people as well.
As in, don't always say your next move or be cautious.
No, I would say, discuss your next move,
Yeah,
thought out.
yeah.
Have a real plan. For example, shout out Mike Mento, who may be, we should have Alex come on. I mean, we should have guests come on. Anyone wants to come on the show. I mean, I met a guy named Mike Mento, right? He works at
Mhm.
Microsoft. It was freaking nature. Conversation striked. Told them all about like my theories, how audience can create conversions, which then can create dollars. So if you have 1 million listeners, you extract, let's say, $1 to 20,000 per month.
Mhm.
At one point, eventually, like this is very thought out, strategic ideas, which is the conversations we want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even as I'm working these long hours, we have guards for this occasion where I'm hosting a sale, and I just as a friendly person, someone who likes to talk to people. I speak about the podcast all the time. This guy, he just shows me his music. He's in the studio creating music, and I tell him that we need an intro, and he literally took my card. He took my name. I put Frank G. Chris. I gave him the platforms we're on, and he's ready. He's already watching some episodes, and he just
That's another guy who, like, we need to get you on. Like, what kind of creativity do you have? Like, I'm sure you could bring value not only to us, but to listeners, right? To the people who listening to us. I mean, everyone has their own unique thing.
Yeah, and you never know what someone else's words or story is going to encourage. I mean, I have a friend who's started creating music as well now, Jose. Shout out to Jose. He just made his first 2 songs, and I bet you listening to someone who as well creates music will even drive that further.
That drives interest. And then, as we say, right, your network is going to create your net worth if you all have similar minded conclusions, I suppose, which in my head is finding something you are passionate and love, which can create financial freedom, right? That should be everyone's thought process. It may not be, but
It's
that's mine.
it's definitely not. It's definitely not everyone's.
Definitely not. Some people can do it for love. Some people, there's plenty of reasons to do it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's wrong here. It's about who you are. Some people are happy with whatever 9 to 5 they have in the family they created, and relaxing every other when they're off from work, spending time with family. For me, I enjoy working hard. I enjoy a challenge when it's presented to me. I mean, now it's 10 o'clock. We said we need to film this. We need to record something.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I pretty much didn't do as much as you did, but it has been a long day.
Yeah, and I know coming to you saying, "All right, well, we're gonna record right when I get home." I knew this was gonna be a late one, so usually we're way ahead of time.
Yeah, usually, I mean, our energy levels are probably a little down than typical.
Yeah, I could certainly go for a massage right now. Like I've been standing for way too long, for way too many days. Certainly, I know. Me and my boy, we could use a nice massage.
Shout out, Frank.
Shout out Frank.
But I mean, I need a lot of things. I need a nice vacation right now. I've always wanted to try acupuncture. I would like to do that. It's just to do these things the first time is typically an awkward experience.
Oh, like acupuncture would be awkward at first. You're saying?
Correct. Like, who do you go to? Who does that? Who? Like, how does it even feel? Like it's you don't know what to expect. And I love massages, but I've had many of them.
Well, our boy John becoming a chiropractor, maybe he'll be able to work on our backs, our feet. Who knows? Whatever needs working.
Fucking guy walking 24 miles. That's
Impressive hike in the
I mean,
Grand Canyon.
I tell you right now, I got some. I can't remember the issue with my foot right now. Plantar fascia, some shit. Yo, I can barely walk to the kitchen.
Yeah, that seems rough. I wonder what happens if like you're halfway through a 24-mile hike and you just can't go anymore. Like no one's getting you, or are they?
So I was taking a shit and I'm sitting there I'm thinking about this. I'm like, seriously, how many people just do crazy hikes like that, but like come into danger? like,
I certainly
like
wouldn't want to see a bear while I'm fucking hiking.
I don't think you're gonna see a bear in that climate, you fucking animal. It's like 120 degrees
All right,
in the mountains.
in the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
There's no bears in the Grand. Yo, I don't know. I really don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, but I just cannot see that being
All right, well, maybe a killer eagle like swooping down, thinking you're a fucking
yeah,
lamb or something.
while you're on the cliff. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's uh-uh.
yeah,
Um,
I'm not with it. I'll network with some people that can massage me or something. Chiropractors.
yeah, that would be great. But you know what? It seems like he's super happy. That seems like a spiritual event.
I mean, it's also certainly to test yourself, right? I mean, that's a huge challenge. I mean, I can only imagine that your body wants to give up at least probably earliest halfway through it.
You think though, like I would imagine if you're doing that, you're kind of a hiking enthusiast.
I don't think he
So
was though.
yeah, but he's a fitness enthusiast, so it's kind
Yeah,
of the same. I mean, like
you got to
his
train for that.
do you though? Like, isn't it kind of Brett? Like, aren't you enjoying the moment, or this is something that is like this is I don't know how
I
to explain it.
I mean, I certainly saw pictures of him when it looked like he was going to give up. So I don't know, but he said he was able to fight through it, which Joe
I
Rogan
mean,
says you just got to conquer your inner bitch, really, and just keep going. There's always your inner bitch telling you to stop. Your body's hurting, but your mind can always turn that around.
well, I guess maybe I'm underestimating 24 miles.
Yeah, it's a marathon almost.
Man, 24 miles. Now that I think about it, like, that's pain in the ass.
You wake up like 3 a.m. You're home at 9 p.m. and you literally just was sweating and your calves are burning. Your toes probably hurt. You probably got plantar fasciitis.
Yeah, yo, I got that trying to school some 22-year-olds in ball.
I miss the ball days. Definitely miss the ball days.
I told him I tried to school him, like, because they call me old man and shit because I'm 29. You're like 22, like, relax. Meanwhile, I was quicker, more agile, faster, stronger. Fuck them. But they were cool. But I told them, I'm like, yo, guys, around 25, 26, all your crew and homies, they start growing up, adulting. You're not going to be playing ball like this.
Yeah, well, everyone's busy, right? I mean,
Yeah, that happened to us. I mean,
and then also you want less chance of hurting yourself. You don't
oh,
want to
injury?
you don't
Oof.
want to hurt yourself playing a fucking pickup basketball game in a schoolyard when you're 30 years old.
Right now, that would be fine because I'm working from home. I'm remote. So if I'm on crutches or something, cool. But if I'm back in the city and shit, I'm not risking hurting myself at all.
Yeah, very interesting. My company trying to open up the offices right now. Actually, I think they are open and this is New York City, and I'm pretty sure things are getting a little tougher here. Cases going up.
So I was making a joke of that, but it's not funny. Everybody is like getting together,
Mm,
not caring,
yep.
but jokingly stating like, "Oh yeah, the resurgence is back. Everyone's getting sick again." Like,
Well,
get
yeah.
the fuck home.
I mean, this is no joke. I've been exposed. I mean, I'm wearing a mask all day, which is absolutely terrible for 15 hours of work. But
Oh,
you do
sounds
what
miserable.
you do when you're exposed to 800 people in 3 weeks. So it's if the chances. I mean, if 800 people come in a room, what's the chances of something happening? What's the chances of someone having something? I don't know.
I would imagine. Yeah, I guess you're right because it really goes by region of like state, like where infections pop up, I suppose. But let's say it's even 10%. What is that? 80?
That would be 80 of that number. Yeah.
I mean, they still have to like for you to somehow contract that just seems like unlikely.
Well, the problem is, I think, or the caution that needs to be taken is when you're in this pod with people you work with, after months you're comfortable, so you take the mask down when no one's in the store, or you take the mask down to breathe for a second or to talk to someone, but you're not realizing that's what's exposing you potentially, and you're just trusting these people, but you don't know what they do when they go home. Yeah, we work together, we're a great team, I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yeah, but I don't know if it like you can contract it. Like, again, I don't know shit. Now we're just spewing nonsense, but I feel like you have to like if I sneeze on something, you would have to touch that wetness.
Ugh.
Then it's infected, and then you would have to touch your like something on you to like get it in you.
Yeah, and I'm here feeling a little worn down, and you were saying this yourself as well. I'm taking emergencies after these 15-hour shifts because I'm like, damn, I'm a
No,
little.
you're just working, and I just partied all weekend.
I mean, either way, at the end of the day, both of our minds went to like, damn, is this Corona? Which is
It
crazy.
did. It did. Yeah. No, but at the same time, I do laugh at myself when I do say that, because like I'm 40% serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, well, you say it and you hope that 60% at
Facts.
60% at least is
I'm playing roulette, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kids at the roulette table making bets here. It's like, all right, we'll go to the bar. Frank, you got married. Let's have a gathering.
Oh
Or
man.
engaged. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like there's a lot of people. That's how it is. As you get older, everyone around you creating families, doing their own thing.
No, I to be honest, I think this year is actually like making people
It
just
seems like
having
it.
babies.
I
Yeah, yo.
I've seen like 4 engagements. I've been to 1 wedding, and now
Yeah,
I
bro.
have my friend telling me about his new baby. Yeah, things just happen.
Well, look, my brother just had a baby. Shout out, Brody.
Shout out, Rich. Congratulations.
That's my fucking what, sixth nephew now, fifth nephew. Damn.
I see him posting pictures. Looks just like him.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I guess when quarantine hit, everybody really just
If
started
if
doing
you
it.
if you if you were locked up, you started fucking a lot, and here you go.
I
Here's the
tell you
baby.
what, though. I tell you what. All right, for us single folks, we may have or may have not struggled a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yo, oh man, I don't want to like go to a bar and talk to you. Where have you been?
yeah. It's like
Rona season.
it's like a questionnaire now. I read something on Facebook. This guy goes, is it a bad question on a first date to ask their political views?" And I responded, "That's a silly question. The answer is yes. You should ask them where they've been. Do they have the Rona? Or they ever have it?"
Oh yeah, you should ask. Yeah, well, that's not political though.
No, no, no. He wanted to ask, should I'm inquiring about her political views. And I'm like, no, you do not inquire about political views. That's a heavy conversation for a first date.
Um, you think?
I think so.
What?
Well, before
Like
getting to know each other, it could quickly break things off because obviously people can be married and together and have separate views. But if your first date is against each other,
it's a conversation starter, and as long as you can like me and you,
maturely and
yeah,
control
me,
that.
yeah, then correct. You
Yeah,
cannot bring up that conversation and then like somehow dictate it where you're like a dickhead,
yeah,
arguing. But I mean, I wouldn't bring it up. You're correct. But if it was brought up, I'd be able to like swoop in and out like no big deal.
yeah. I mean, you quickly say something like, you're not trying to push your views on anyone. Or at least I'm not. That's funny because that happened to me at work today.
You could probably use that to sell it. If you just say, I agree with you. Yeah.
You could sell. well,
Then
well,
they
that,
like you. They like you.
yeah. Well, that could put you in a bad. You don't want to start that off that way, and then all of a sudden you vote for someone completely different. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh man. Again, I don't vote, so political. I mean, nobody. It's so funny. Nobody wants to be political, but like it just so happens you have to.
I mean, then you have those people who certainly want to be, or at least, I mean, it happened to me today. I work with a great team, a very hardworking team. It's hard for me to complain when everyone around me is doing the same hours, working the same. And today, I got approached and they're like, Frank, everyone wants to know what your political views, because they always talk about it.
That's interesting.
They always talk about it, and I told them I'm always quiet about it because of how passionate you guys are. I'm not trying to start any type of argument or anything. And I'm not saying my political views even on here. And he's like, "Well, your silence is speaking for it." I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm just not getting into it because I'm kind of a in the middle kind of guy.
I mean, I had to look up, I guess, what I am, and I'm apparently a libertarian. Me and Ankit, we looked that up.
And what's the definition for our listeners for as of a libertarian?
I mean, like economically and shit. I'm like a Republican and conservative.
Because you're about that money.
I'm always about the money. Yeah, mostly. But when it comes to like shit like abortion and fucking gay marriage, like I'm totally liberal on that.
Yeah. Everything you do what you want to do. I'm not going to try and
Yeah,
dictate
I'm
any of
just
that.
about my money.
Yeah. As long as you don't mess with me, I'm not. You do what you want to
Yeah.
do. Absolutely.
And the fact that like, everyone's free. I believe in the Second Amendment. Like, yo, you should have guns to like, protect yourself from the government itself. Like, I believe in that shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of things that could go. I go, one way on
But
one.
again, like I always say, I don't vote, so I don't even have a right to say anything. I don't, man. I think it's so weird when people blast shit out. They blast out opinions or how they feel on social media or in general. It's odd.
And then they get mad when other opinions come in.
Don't agree. Yeah, and you know what? You should be able to learn and see different perspectives to help you formulate a new, better perspective.
Yeah, well, yeah. Technically, if you're not, if that just means if you're not that way, if you're not open to that, you technically think you're right all the time, or your way of thinking is right. And to be honest, you don't grow that way. You grow by giving other opinions a chance. You
And at the same
learn.
time, I mean, at the end of the day, there should really be love for everyone, no matter what.
Absolutely.
You know what I was thinking, but I couldn't convey it.
What?
The insides of every human being looks exactly the same.
Yeah, that's like something you learn, or at least you hear when you're younger, right?
Yeah, but like you think about how like race plays a factor, different cultures, different like all of that plays a factor. But God forbid, right? You saw like someone mutated, but you didn't see you know what I'm saying? You just saw the outsides. It's all
Yeah,
the same.
yeah. I mean, you don't judge a book by its cover, and we all bleed red.
Yeah. Again, there just needs to be more love in the world. But then again, I'm weird where like the minute I don't feel your love, you can go fuck yourself. I'm gonna do me though.
Yeah, I mean, I try and respect everybody around me. Like you said, your network is your net worth, and I'm networking with people that I'm with people that I foresee in my future for a long time. I'm not trying to jeopardize that with some silly disagreements and any political views or anything.
Yeah, but sometimes your network could get a little weird. Sometimes they think they support you, or they become fake. It's weird.
Well, there are a lot of fake people out there. A lot of people are for themselves. Clearly, I mean, you never know anyone's ulterior motives, but
Nope, but if you have knowledge, you should spread it. What is our minute time?
minute time, we are approaching about 26 minutes, 27 minutes right now. Yep, we're actually at 27 minutes.
Man, it's funny how we get to showtime right on point. When I was talking to this kid, Mike Mento,
Mm,
he was talking about, he was asking me tons of questions. He was just interested. And the main thing I learned with podcasts is he was excited when the episodes were kind of short. He's like,
mm.
I listen to, this guy, his episodes are like an hour and a half. I'm like, I can't get to all of it. I listen to it once, really. I'm like, oh, see? And, you know, I looked on Google. Remember when we switched? We used to have an hour and 20-minute shows.
Yeah, we definitely were shooting for 50 plus minutes in the beginning, and then we did our 15-minute. I think that's what caused us to shorten it for sure.
Well, I did research and I found out, which I kind of I try and spread to any new podcaster, is that they recommend a podcast show should be about 40 minutes because podcasts are typically listened during commuting.
Yeah,
The average commute is 42 minutes.
yeah, and in these, to be honest, in 2020, I guarantee the rate of people commuting is what, down 50, probably 50% and more.
Well, that's hurting podcasting, actually.
Yeah, that's got to be hurting. I mean, you hear people I read all the time on the subway, or I listen to podcasts on the subway. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
working from their laptop.
Well, that's what was very interesting when we did the 30 shows, 30 days of 30 shows, is I thought, hey, look, everybody's home. They can consume content. Let's put out a shit ton, right? Like, let's overdo it. And then I realized within 5 to 7 days,
Yeah,
oh, no one's listening because no one,
it's not
like,
a yeah, it's not a visual thing. It's not like a Netflix where I'm going to sit down in bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then that's when we were like, you know what? We have to do this for ourselves and figure out how can we get better and are we even passionate about it? So that was a very interesting learning moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly tough to do that every single day, but we definitely learned from it.
So what's interesting is when I was speaking to Mike he asked me, he's like, should
Mm,
I start listening from your show from the beginning or
that's
like
interesting.
it was an interesting question, right?
Yeah,
Because we've grown a lot.
complete.
We
Yeah,
had no intro. We had to do the 30 days. We couldn't theme it. We couldn't brand it.
yep.
We like in the beginning we had those hour and a half episodes. So I was like, yeah, I would watch it from
Late.
now.
Yeah, it's almost.
at least
Yeah,
at
it's all.
least May.
Yeah, it's almost like you if you watch the beginning of this show, episode 1 through like 35, maybe a little more than that, you're seeing the old us, the show where it just started.
Yeah, well, we're still, I think, similar, but there definitely has been changes within the development.
Yeah, I mean, there's changes in even how we speak and what is presented. I mean, obviously, we're always trying to bring some type of value. We're trying to show you our lives, what we do, how we think.
Well, I try to explain it as we're showing the journey of building an empire, right?
Yep,
Well, everybody else is on their journey, so that's why I say like it's like-minded individuals who are trying to build something, right? I mean, but yeah,
yeah,
everyone's got their shit.
and that's why it would be great to have more guests and more people who are in our network who are also building. I mean, I know the people in your circle, they certainly are either businessmen or people who are working for
Well, nah,
something.
yo, I even been I spoke to my cousin too. Very interesting concept, right, with him.
Mm.
So he he's he is a senior in high school baseball player.
All right, youngin.
Um, he's a youngin, right? But here's the thing. And his mom is the principal of New Dog. And he's my cousin. I used to fuck with him when he was a kid. And now, like, as he grew up, we spoke a little bit more. And we used to always have this argument because he's super smart, super intelligent.
Mm,
And I would always kind of tell him, I'm like, hey, like, yo, fuck school. I didn't, I had C's in school and I went to a community college and I make, similar money as to someone who went to an Ivy League school. So depending on your field, I have different views on college and schooling, right?
of course. I mean, yeah, if you're not in a set field, that's going to make you a career path.
Yeah, like I mean, if you want to be a doctor, okay, you have to go to school. But if you want to, like, if you're a hustler and then I wouldn't waste my time putting such an emphasis on school in high school. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, we went to school, but if we had experience, we could probably be in the same boat where we are right now without it, with experience
Maybe school makes it a little easier, but
to get that interview for sure.
yeah, but you don't need to go to some Ivy League or some crazy
No.
university. Like that to me is stupid. And he was always against it. He's like, what do you mean? You got to get good grades. You got to do this. You got to do that. And he it was an argument we always had. And he's an athlete too. He plays basketball and baseball.
Yeah.
Um, I don't when if he comes on the show, we'll figure out where he's at. But he got I think a scholarship to Princeton. So like in a way he proved me wrong now because like this is crazy. He was valedictorian or the second
Mm.
one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's valedictorian is one in a class, right? So I mean,
I
yeah,
think he was two in his class.
I forget the second one.
Yeah, but to be two, right? And an athlete.
That's
Now,
wonderful. Yeah, that's a feat, tremendous feat.
yes. And now I hit him up and I'm like, you know how we always had this argument back and forth? I'm like, many times I would actually think I'm right, but you kind of proved me wrong. And like, it's a very interesting conversation now.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, I mean, I was always like 85, 89 student. And I remember when I was talking to the principal and telling him I'm on the football team, this and that. And I told him my grades and he's like, wow, 89, that's impressive. Football's full time. And, to me, I'm not thinking that way because I was the same as your cousin. I need good school. I need good grades, but I always wanted to save money on school. So I chose the city college, the community college.
So you did have a similar thought process.
Yeah.
but no offense to you, I think he excelled,
Oh
like
no,
way
there's no
higher.
offense. Yeah, there's no offense there. I was definitely not the number one
Like
or two in my class.
this kid, yeah, he was that with the, and he's going to Princeton. Like, isn't that like one of the top
Yeah,
schools?
yeah, no, I'm actually giving him credit because
It's wild.
for the principal to say an 89 student is very impressive.
That
Some
makes sense.
a 99.9 student is almost nearly a 2% chance or something crazy.
Yeah, so I thought, I mean, yeah, he's got to come through. Hey, it seems like we got a good pool of people, and I guess this whole conversation kind of worked. That your network is your net worth, right? It's people who you surround yourself with, just goals, fucking goals.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to win, and I want to see people win around me. You know, it just feels good to be in a
All I
winning
do
room.
is win, 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 no
No
matter
matter
what.
what.
Got
Yes,
money on my
sir.
mind, I can
I
never
never
give
get it
it
up.
up.
Yeah.
Got everybody up in the building.
You're having a good time over there. I see that, man.
Hands
I see
go
that.
up.
And
Yeah.
they stay there. And they stay there.
All right, we got to end the show on that fucking note. And these
Yeah.
are real hundos. I mean, we don't use the movie hundos, you know?
Yes, sir. On that note,
Oh, man, you're funny, kid.
on that note, we are out and we
Peace.
appreciate all of you. Peace.